It's down at the Quick Speed Shop. I'm here in my Boogie van. As you can see, there's some pinstriping on it. I'm going to drive out to my friend Paul's house in Buffalo. He's going to stripe the van. It's like a neat, like, 50s neighborhood out here.
I love it. Here's my house here.
Yeah.
Sears Roebuck kit home.
So you go to the store and order it up. I'll take one of these.
You ordered it out of catalog. Came in a kit. You didn't have to. You didn't need a saw to do them.
Well, I can trust your professional judgment. As how many years in the field here?
Since 1979.
79. So that's 43 years straight.
43 years. Can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I can't believe you're still using the original brush after all them years.
I wish. Tell you, I recently found some brushes that last me about a year.
Really?
I used to get a month out of a brush if I was lucky. I usually like to be done striping in the driveway here. I don't think your van would have fit in my garage here.
Yeah.
I usually like to be done like by 10 o'clock when the sun comes over the house here.
Okay.
But we're gonna make the best of it here before I burn my little pinkies. The only reason I still have that car is when I quit driving it, probably back in the early 80s, my brother-in-law had a garage where he let me keep it for free. And being a pack rat, which you can relate to,
Yeah.
I says, I'm gonna, by then I was screwing around with, you know, street rods and stuff. I says, I am gonna put that car, I am gonna take the 283 out of that car someday, and I am gonna put it in a street rod. Well, I never did. So here I am, you know, time's marching on, I get married, have kids. At that time I got a little 29, you know, roadster on deuce rails, you know, fenderless. Now the kids are coming along. My first son, man, I used to strap him in a car seat, in the rumble seat of my roadster. We'd go up to Shirkston Beach. I used to tell everybody we were cruising for chicks. He goes, yeah, Dad, we're cruising for chicks or we're cruising for ducks. I mean, he was only a little guy then, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, the reality of life set in. I said, I need a car with a back seat. So I dragged the thing home and started off doing what I would have called at the time a half-ass restoration. One thing led to another. My friends all thought I was nuts. I probably was. Probably out of any cars I've ever had, that's probably worth the least. But it's my most special car only because of the history on it.
Right.
I mean, I remember the day Kennedy got killed. My grandmother picked me up from grammar school in that car.
Okay.
Yeah. So just crazy things like that you remember, you know?
Yeah.
Then my wife used it for a while when she was going to college. Then it got parked for many years.
Yeah, it only would have been 3 years old then. 63. Or no, 2 years old.
So I didn't get the car till 1973. The car being a 61. Yeah, I was 3 years old when I got killed, when Kennedy got killed. She picked me up in grammar school. But when I turned 16, she gave me the car. She lived with us. She gave me the car. She would never let any of my brothers drive it, because they probably would have trashed it, rightfully so, you know. And you know, I was the youngest of them all, and she lived with us. You know, I was the golden boy. So she gave me the car when I turned 16. Then when I turned 17, I'd buy a 69 Z28 Camaro. talk about being on top of the world.
Yeah.
It wasn't like today where kids got their own private parking lot at school.
No.
No. It's been like one or two other guys, you know.
What happened to that car?
Yeah. You know, the gas prices come along. Nobody wanted them. I couldn't get $1,500 out of it.
Wow.
Yeah, tell me about it. I sold it to a friend of mine who, you know, actually he had taken. I had put an LT1 in it because I blew up the 302 shortly after I bought it. It was tired anyway, so I bought a brand new LT1 short block from Chevy, $342 in the crate.
Wow.
LT1 4-bolt main, 370 horse. And I put that in my Z28. You know, I took all the stuff off the 302. You know, heads and everything, put it on the LT1. So my buddy gets the car finally. He buys it from me. I got $1,400 in a snowmobile in trade for it. He decides to move to Texas. He gets halfway to Texas and blows up the 283. Tows it the rest of the way to Texas. Sells the car. Never to be seen again. So he calls me up. He goes, "Hey, your old motor's sitting in my garage at home. Do you want it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I bought it back. It's been in 3 of my cars. It's now sitting on a crate in that garage there.
Okay.
I still have the LT1 that I bought in 1972, actually, probably.
For $342.
$342. And that was tough, man. I had to scrimp and save. But it's been in 3 of my cars. I had it in my, obviously my Z28. I had it a purple 37 Ford Cabriolet, which I don't think I knew you when I had that.
No.
It was a nice car. Downs body, California Dreamin' chassis. I mean, it made a Snap-on tool calendar. I was in a couple magazines with it. It was just one of them cars, you know. There was one problem with it. It's too nice for me.
Yeah.
I'm old school, man. The day I finished the car is the day I hated that 37.
Yeah, I don't like shiny stuff either.
Nah, you know what? I was thinking the family thing, and I did drive it for 10 years. I will say that. I drove it for 10 years. It was great, you know. Had the kids, you know, the Nationals and York, you know, you name it, I was there. But time to let it go. So then, the little black roadster back there, the little 31. And actually, I bought that body 45 years ago for the whopping sum of $20. And I bought it sight unseen. You know the roadster, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one of them things. 45 years ago, everybody laughed at me. Like, what are you doing with this piece of junk, you know? And I used to put out on the front lawn at Halloween with a scarecrow in it. Put a hay bale in the motor compartment with roadster headers coming off it and everything, you know?
Yeah, cool.
So anyways, my kids are getting a little older, and, you know, the magazines are coming to the house with all the rat rods in it. They're like, "Oh, Dad, you know, that's cool." I go, "Look, I got that 31 Roadster. I said, if you guys help me, we'll put it together, but it's not going to be a rat rod. I'm going to finish it up as a barn find, as a survivor car." It's all the bodywork and everything is all done in lead. So that's what we did. My 2 sons, some of their buddies from school. Every Saturday we worked in that garage. I got more money in popping pizza in that car than I do.
What time frame was this?
Oh shit, it's probably 20 years ago now. And the whole time, the minute I bought that car, I had this vision of building a survivor car, a barn find. This is before anybody thought of that stuff, you know? So, I was going to the swap meets, and I was buying all that stuff that, you know, everybody was busy taking the cool hot rod stuff off their cars and putting the billet on. You know, I'm buying stuff on the dollar pile for the cars. I got the gauges in it. Stuart Warner, all curved glass gauges. I bought the whole cluster for $5.
Really?
You know?
Yeah. Now they're $200 a gauge.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, that's what we did. We put it together as what I would call a survivor car. It's not a rat rod. It actually spent a year on display in the Buffalo Pierce Aero Transportation Museum.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Sandoro approached me. He goes, I want an example of the Great American Hot Rod, you know, to put on display. I says, well, I got the car for you. And I got free storage out of it for a year through the winter, you know.
Yeah, that's the perfect example of what a hot rod would look like.
Yeah. So then I had that done, and I still had my 37, the show car, the Tupperware car. So my kids would drive that to the cruise nights, and I'd take my 37. Do I have to tell you the rest of the story? Nobody even wanted to look at my 37 anymore.
Right.
You know? Everybody's like oohing and on over that thing. That I got like $1,500, or I probably got $2,500 in the car, start to finish. But I love that car. It could sit for months at a time. You get in, you touch the key, and it fires right up. It's just one of them cars. Goes down the road. And it's all built out of, you know, what I didn't get with the car is just leftover stuff that I got to swap meets. It's all period correct, 41 Ford dropped axle, you know, F1 steering, split wishbones, you know, all the cool stuff. On the phone was the legendary Luke Scanlon, pinstriper from Ocala, Florida.
Really?
We're real good friends. You'd know him if you've seen him. He's the guy that drove that Model A up from Ocala, Florida to Jesse's hot rod thing a couple years back.
Yeah. Yep.
Pinstriper, does all the work for Garlits. Him and I, every day we communicate. Every day. Good guy, man. Awesome artist.
Yeah, I was at Garland's Museum in 1990. You know, we were down there for vacation, stopped by, kind of in a hurry. I wish we'd spent more time there.
So I went down a couple years ago and stayed with Luke. So I got to hang out with Garlits all day long. It was like super cool.
Oh, really?
He is
awesome.
Every single day he's working on something in his shop. He was building a killer Model A at the time.
Yeah, I bet that was awesome.
It was. He's a real down-to-earth guy, I'll tell you right now. Oh, that bad boy's hot.
Hot on your hands or hot on the paint or both?
Fingers. I try not to work in the sun. I actually have a set of pallbearer gloves. I should get them out of my car, and I cut these two fingers out, and then these, you know, white gloves, you know, and then so I'll burn my magic caddies here, you know. Whew.
Yeah, how hot is it? It was pretty warm.
Two cars, yesterday I did 2 trucks outside for an old car dealer I've been working for forever. 2 of them, I had to do them both outside. And they were touch-ups actually. They were already striped, but they had paint work done on them.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
At the dealership you done?
Yeah, I did them right at the dealership.
Did any room inside to work on?
You know what? It's a little used car lot.
Oh.
I'm pretty much done with the dealers. But anyway, he's a little used car lot that I've been striping for probably 30 years. I'm not going to say no to him at this point, you know. Long story short, you know, they were pinned in with other cars. He's got a space issue. I said, just let me have at him. I had a feeling I was going to be outside, so I made sure I got there early before it got real scorcher, you know?
Yeah. Is this stand for your paint tray there, a Pinewood Derby steering wheel?
Actually, it was off a go-kart that was, I built for my kids years ago. Yeah. When we go in the garage later, I'll show you my collection of anchovy cans and tuna fish cans. So I use these just to hold my cup.
Yeah.
They actually get to the point where they build up so much paint here just from dabbing over that I can't get this in it.
Really?
So then I retire them, and these get to the point where they won't hold any more. That's paint thinner. Won't hold any more paint thinner. Gotta tell you, you know. And I'll throw nothing away. I make art out of it, like some of the old stuff. It's a disease. You've seen the stuff I do. I just can't. I can't walk by something without saying, what can I make out of that? You know.
Oh, I don't know what it was. This door was bent. This edge was all bent in, and I used a bar, and I must not realize the paint cracked on it. That's right. I saw that red Chevy truck down the way, and I knew that must have been close. I saw the tailgate on it.
Red?
There's a red Chevy, like...
Oh, that's my neighbor. He's the guy. Unfortunately, he's at work. He lives 4 houses down from me. He's got a 1952 Chevy. It's an old gasser from Niagara Drag Strip. The thing looks like the day it come off the track. It's really only been out one other time, and it was in the Motorama a couple years ago. I'm sure you were there. It was over parked next to the jumping bean and stuff. Yeah. I thought it was my paint. You got something.
Oh, there's a chip in the
Something
paint.
on your paint.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
This thing's not perfect.
All right. So anyway, yeah, that's his everyday driver. If you look around, most of my neighbors got the car striped. It's the fringe benefit of living here, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny just coming off the Buffalo and seeing all the trucks and stuff striped. Just driving around, you know, compared to Rochester, where nobody's getting anything striped, especially new cars.
My friend Brian the Brush out of Rochester, he hit it on the head. He says pinstriping in Buffalo is like country western singers in Nashville. At one time, there were 40 of them. I figured about a 30 to 40 mile radius where we're standing, I counted 40 pinstripers.
Oh.
Some were full-timers, some were, you know, I don't know what I'd call them, maybe dabblers, but really super talented. The standards were high in this town. You know, guys like Corky and Prohaska that started it around here in the 50s. I mean, you had to get tough or die, you know, you had to be good. Not good, and I ain't good, I ain't the best, believe me, I'm just the busiest, but, you know, and then actually later in years I become friends with all them guys. But long story short, standards were high around here, which to me is what made everybody be on their toes.
Yeah.
I can look at a car, I can tell you who did it. 20 feet away, I can tell you who striped it. And one of the things I did as time went on, with my shy personality, I managed to bring a lot of the pinstripers together. Guys that wouldn't talk to each other, you know. I don't know why, because there's so much work for everybody, but I brought them all together, you know, the old guys even.
Yeah.
And we started doing car shows like we do at the Buffalo Motorama. We get, you know, 15 pinstripers and stripe toilet seats for charity, you know, sell them for charity, you know.
Yeah.
It's a ride.
And panel jam stuff.
Panel jams. Hopefully we won't pull your paint off.
It should stick on there.
So far, so good. I've had simple little pinstripe jobs turned into graphic jobs. Sponge it all in and. Ugh.
I taped the fender skirt onto my 37.4 the other day just to take a picture of it, and peeled it off, and peeled 2 big chunks of black off the center of the fender.
Yeah.
Whoops. That car was poorly painted back in the day.
I had it happen on a brand new car one time.
Really?
Yeah. And naturally, your customer was standing there, you know. Brand new car. It's there for a reason. Because I got to come back and touch up that. See where? Because these doors were door and fender were 2 different heights, but I just got to come back and go that way with the green paint. I do that so I don't forget. They usually have about a 15-second memory span.
Give away all your tricks here then.
That's pretty high-tech stuff, let me tell you right now. How people say, you know, they want their initials on their car?
Yeah.
Okay. If I don't literally write it down immediately, 5 minutes later I'm like...
At least it's not like a tattoo where you at least you can wipe it off and do it again if you have to.
I will never do tattoos. My good friend Ronnie Lasker, God bless him, awesome artist, you know him.
Yeah, he did my tattoo.
He did your tattoo and he lettered your truck.
Yeah.
One of my best friends in the world. One of the best artists I've ever known. As far as a guy could do anything. Anything.
What? So, my shirt is a picture of his lettering on my truck.
Yeah.
And I drew it on a piece of paper, you know, rough idea. And then he did it in his basement when he was building his coupe.
Yeah.
You know, it was 3/4 of the way done. And then he drew that, and then this is a picture, and I made everything's based off the letters he painted on the door.
I was with him the other night. He's bringing that coupe out of retirement to bring it to the open wheel night at the Wurlitzer in August. He hasn't driven it in about 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, he's been building that. He's been driving that roadster that he's got, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that coupe is probably one of the coolest cars in the valley, man.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, God bless him on doing tattoos. I want to be able to wipe my mistakes off, you know.
Considering all the juices in my belly now, probably.
I mean, if it was still alive.
Nice. Alright, I'm back. Thanks to my friend Paul for striping the van. He did an excellent job. He's a fine line guy. He's used to striping cars, new cars at dealerships and hot rods. So he did the stripes all the way down the whole side of the van. And details around here, around the front, on the hood and stuff like that. And I was talking to him after we got done just doing that. It got too hot in the sun by his house, and this van wouldn't fit in his garage. But I think it's the 70s van, and it's not enough. So what I want to do is have him come out here, and we're going to panel stripe these big panels. Use this green here, and maybe the dark green on the dark green of the seat, and double pinstripe around these panels down here, and like like essentially panel stripe the whole van. So it'll start on the front, come down around here, around the fenders and the big panels, do something along the side. Maybe put something in the cove. I don't think it needs it in the cove, but definitely gonna, these big panels that are really, look really plain now, I'm gonna have them come and panel stripe these. So we're gonna be doing that in a couple weeks before the Van National show I want to go to in Ohio. But I like what it's gone so far, and that was super cool of him to do it out there at his house. You got to check out his house. I did a separate video because this went so long into the pinstriping. I did a whole separate video on his cars, so you're going to want to watch that. It's going to come up right after this video. And he's got a 31 Model A Roadster that's he built as a survivor car. He's got a he's the second owner of his grandmother's 61 Chevy 4-door sedan. He's owned that car since 1972, I believe. And then his 29 Model A 2-door sedan that he built a couple years ago, which is also super cool. We go for a ride in the Roadster. We do a bunch of stuff, so you're going to want to click on that video next when it comes out on the channel here. But I'm really happy with the pinstriping. He did a great job, and I can't wait to finish the bottom half of it, and we'll have full-on striping action on the old Boogie van here. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bam, doing cool stuff like the striping here at the Quick Speed Shop. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home.